Aloha! This is lesson 169 from A Course in Miracles with Hope Johnson. By grace I live, by grace I am released. Grace is an aspect of the love of God, which is most like the state prevailing in the unity of truth. It is the world's most lofty aspiration, for it leads beyond the world entirely. It is past learning. Yet the goal of learning for grace cannot come until the mind prepares itself for true acceptance. Grace becomes inevitable instantly in those who have prepared a table where it can be gently laid and willingly received, an altar clean and holy for the gift. Grace is acceptance of the love of God within a world of seeming hate and fear. By grace alone, the hate and fear are gone, for grace presents a state so opposite to everything the world contains that those whose minds are lighted by the gift of grace cannot believe the world of fear is real. Grace is not learned. The final step must go beyond all learning. Grace is not the goal this course aspires to attain. Yet we prepare for grace in that an open mind can hear the call to waken. It is not shut tight against God's voice. It has become aware that there are things it does not know, and thus is ready to accept a state completely different from experience with which it is familiarly at home. We have perhaps appeared to contradict our statement that the revelation of the Father and the Son as one has been already set. But we have also said the mind determines when that time will be, and has determined it. And yet we urge you to bear witness to the Word of God, to hasten the experience of truth, and speed its advent into every mind that recognizes truth's effects on you. Oneness is simply the idea God is, and in His being, He encompasses all things. No mind holds anything but Him. We say God is, and then we cease to speak, for in that knowledge words are meaningless. There are no lips to speak them, and no part of mind sufficiently distinct to feel that it is now aware of something not itself. It has united with its source, and like its source itself, it merely is. We cannot speak, nor write, nor even think of this at all. It comes to every mind when total recognition that its will is God's has been completely given and completely received. It returns the mind into the endless present, where the past and future cannot be conceived. It lies beyond salvation, past all thought of time, forgiveness, and the holy face of Christ. The Son of God has merely disappeared into His Father, as His Father has in Him. The world has never been at all. Eternity remains a constant state. This is beyond experience we try to hasten. Yet forgiveness, taught and learned, brings with it the experiences which bear witness that the time the mind itself determined to abandon all but this is now at hand. We do not hasten it, in that what you will offer was concealed from Him who teaches what forgiveness means. All learning was already in His mind, accomplished and complete. He recognized all that time holds, and gave it to all minds, that each one might determine from a point where time was ended, when it is released, to revelation and eternity. Let's read that again because it's awesome. He recognized all that time holds and gave it to all minds that each one might determine from a point where time was ended when it is released to revelation and eternity. We have repeated several times before that you but make a journey that is done. For oneness must be here. Whatever time the mind is set for revelation is entirely irrelevant to what must be a constant state, forever as it always was, forever to remain as it is now. We merely take the part assigned long since and fully recognized as perfectly fulfilled by Him who wrote salvation's script in His Creator's name and in the name of His Creator's Son. There is no need to further clarify what no one in the world can understand. When revelation of your oneness comes, it will be known and fully understood. Now we have work to do. For those in time can speak of things beyond and listen to words which explain what is to come is past already. Yet what meaning can the words convey to those who still count the hours and rise and work and go to sleep by them? Suffice it then that you have work to do to play your part. The ending must remain obscure to you until your part is done. It does not matter, for your part is still what all the rest depends on. As you take the role assigned to you, salvation comes a little nearer each uncertain heart that does not beat as yet in tune with God. Forgiveness is a central theme that runs throughout salvation, holding all its parts in meaningful relationships. The course it runs directed and its outcome sure. And now we ask for grace, the final gift salvation can bestow. Experience that grace provides will end in time. For grace foreshadows heaven, yet does not replace the thought of time, but for a little while. The interval suffices. It is here that miracles are laid, to be returned by you from holy instance you receive. Through grace in your experience, to all who see the light that lingers in your face. What is the face of Christ? But His who went a moment into timelessness and brought a clear reflection of the unity He felt an instant back to bless the world. How could you finally attain to it forever while a part of you remains outside, unknowing, unawakened, and in need of you as witness to the truth? Be grateful to return as you were glad to go an instant, and accept the gifts that grace provided you. You carry them back yourself, and revelation stands not far behind. Its coming is ensured. We ask for grace and for experience that comes from grace. We welcome the release it offers everyone. We do not ask for the unaskable. We do not look beyond what grace can give. For this we can give in grace that has been given us. Our learning goal today does not exceed this prayer. Yet in the world, what could be more than what we ask this day of Him who gives the grace we ask, as it was given Him? Here's the prayer. By grace I live, by grace I am released. By grace I give, by grace I will release. So, the lesson, by grace I live, by grace I am released, is encouraging us to accept what is already ours. You know, it talks about grace can come to the mind that's perfectly prepared, and gave a symbol, like a parallel, of laying acceptance across a table, preparing the place for grace. This is acceptance of what's true about you, number one, and then that extends to what you see as truth in the world. So when you get reflections of people that seem like they've fallen from grace, you don't believe that. It's like Christ's sight doesn't tolerate any lack of love. Not in a way like a human, conditioned human wouldn't tolerate lack of love. They would be more like, that's lack of love, get the fuck out of here, right? So Christ's vision doesn't tolerate lack of love in another way. It's like it would look upon the world and say, that is not so. This is a misinterpretation. I can't possibly be seeing anything as it is. Otherwise, it would just look like perfect love, perfect harmony, complete peace. This is something that's been shown to me as of recently is, just having the perception of what seems to be happening, what another person seems to be doing. Like that wouldn't even be a seeming thing unless it was projected from my own mind. And why is it projected from my own mind? And looking at why is it being projected from my own mind? Because I didn't want to see it. So and now I'm trying to see it outside of myself by projecting it to outside of myself. When I just notice that's only a distraction, actually the sense of, in this case, I could tell it was a sense of unworthiness. Actually, the sense of the unworthiness is coming from me. That's why I could even have that perception of what another person seems to be doing that I seem to be in relationship with, right? So that's what it means by this acceptance of what's true. The acceptance of what's true lets you basically practice forgiveness. This is basically practicing forgiveness because you're not counting this thing that you're seeming to see as coming from outside of you or being even associated with another, because it's only one and it's coming from your mind. And what I see is it is grace, because grace just like takes me deeply into oneness. Right? To where it's like I'm having a revelation. I kind of had a revelation on the block. I think I might have said that in the last lesson, but something opened up where there was a sense of opening in the physical sense in the abdomen, like pretty close to the belly button. And at the same time, there was just this rush of knowing and sensing like the love of God, the peace, seeing all the patterns and going, oh yeah, okay, that's not what I thought it was. Because it's just patterned, right? It's like anytime there's any sense of hurt or anything like that, for one, I'm glad. Like, I know, because I know something's being revealed. Yeah, exactly. And it's always this opportunity, to basically, this is where we fall into grace. When the world looks like it's real and it's sad or whatever it seems to be, that's really like like an inroad. It's like a doorway to this grace, just being willing to accept that the truth is true. One really easy way to say it is just like from the beginning of A Course in Miracles, nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. Am I perceiving something that opposes that? Also, this is not so. So that you can see how you're making it. Because when you're seeing how you're making it, then you're outside the pattern. So another one I loved that it was talking about in here, this part that I read twice. The words were arranged in a way that might be a little bit confusing, right? But what it's saying is that, this is done. You're actually outside at the end of the timeline, deciding when you're going to stop whirling this shit around. That's basically what it said. You decide when you're going to have a revelation and everything. Like when it's not too fearful for you. So this is the acceptance and the forgiveness. Forgiveness is what leads to the acceptance. So you could see how, in the example I gave you, that's practicing forgiveness, where you'll go, wait a second, I must be seeing this wrong. I must need a correction. Right? So then you're going, where am I not seeing how I'm making this up? And then, in that state of wanting to see and wanting forgiveness, that's where it's saying God comes and takes the final step for you. That grace, it's just like, and then you see, this is what's being called, I believe this is what's being called the revelation. The words don't really mean anything. I mean, it's just all pointing, but when you just know something and you just see it, right? Mm-hmm. And this opening, this even questioning anything like that you believe to be true, anything that you believe that's happened, that's happening, anything like that, just this willingness to question it, that's setting the table for grace as well. Mm-hmm. So 5 minutes to as long as you want in the AM, 5 minutes to as long as you want in the PM, whatever feels, as long as you just feel open and you're receiving and you're not straining. The main thing is no straining. It's not about how long you meditate. You do not need long periods of meditation to do this. Long periods of meditation are okay. Okay. But if they go too long, then, you're just like, you're probably just trying to attain through meditation. You're not attaining through meditation. That's not what's going on. You're going to get some calm and some relaxation, and you may get some insights, and it's fun if you want to do. I've done 10-day meditation, 10 hours a day. If you want to do that, it's definitely awesome. But this is not what's required. So it's as much as, you're not straining. A Course in Miracles isn't about strain. So, So in the morning, in the afternoon or evening, and then all throughout the day, by grace I live, by grace I am released. And the rest of that prayer is, by grace I give, by grace I will release. Let everyone see through the way that you just move through the world, the way you speak, the way you smile, the way you walk, everything. That reflects the revelations that you have. You don't have to manage it in any way, right? And people will see that in you, and that's what heals people too. So you could say that's the reason why you're doing it, is to let people know that this is what's going on in so many words or no words, just by your being. So hooray, everyone. Have a beautiful practice. Hooray. I love you.